Sanibonani. Unzimase futhi lo Nxaba Mathendra bayikhulu. Ngihamba nogoba mjanga samahle ombambo omageza ngobisi. Someone sent me a request to talk about the tradition of cutting the baby's hair when the baby is born. And then I realized that there's a whole lot that we do culturally when a baby is born from a perspective of African culture. But I need to stress the importance of these words when I say this is not a one-size-fits-all. Because within the Zulu culture alone, people do things differently. You need to ask your elders. The Dlomo people will not do the same thing as the Dlaminis or the Sishis or the Zungus. This is within the Zulu culture alone. So Xhosas would do it their way, Tswanas would do it their way, Sutus would do it their way, and so goes Vendas and Tsongas. So I'm very, how can I put it, hesitant in making this video. So I think the message I want to throw in front of everybody is that you need to understand from a cultural perspective, ask your elders, what do you do when a baby is born? So I'm going to discuss a few things so that you can get an idea. But don't say Umkhulu Sish said that I must do this, and then next thing your ancestors turn away from you. So, in the Zulu culture, when it comes to cutting of hair, others, for example, how I was raised as a Sishi, we wait until you turn 1, then we cut your hair. But others wait until the child starts to walk. When the child is walking, they cut the hair. The main belief is that if the hair is not cut in time, it weakens the child. So the child might take longer to speak. The child might end up being very slow in school, very slow in grasping things and information, memory loss, you name it. So the hair has to be cut. Other cultures, for example, Tswanas will tell you, no, when the baby's born, that baby hair that looks like it's not black, cut it. And then let the normal black hair grow. So it's different cultures. I also learned that Hindus also have something similar, but the cutting of hair happens across a lot of cultures internationally. Then there's also that little piece that gets left when the umbilical cord is cut. Thina ngesiZulu sithi inkaba. Eventually that drops off. When that drops off, other cultures will tell you that it needs to be taken to the shrine, the family shrine, and sit there until it dries up. Others will tell you, no, it needs to be taken to the kraal, or kraal, let me say it like that, kraal, where the cows stay. You leave it there until it dries up. Obviously, don't leave it for the cows to eat. Just put it in a safe place. So once it's dried up, you then bury it inside the kraal. Okay, so I live in Joburg. I don't have a kraal. I don't have cows. Where do I bury it? So if you're a traditional person and maybe you have a tree on your lawn where you tie up your cow, or whatever form of reinforcement where the cow can be tied up, bury it there. The main point here is don't bury it where there's going to be dirt, or maybe people are going to go there to pee when they're drunk after a braai. Just find a very, very nice, safe spot, or even your garden, flower garden. Just bury it there. What else? Oh, some children are born with a veil. In Zulu City, bazalwe bembete. Another term for it is a cow. These, read about it on Google. These internationally are recognized as very, very fortunate children. It is a sign of good luck. If you read deeper, you will also find that these are children that are normally spiritually gifted. They are psychics, prophets, sangomas, you name it. There are also things that need to be done with the veil. Usually, it also needs to be buried. But nowadays, it gets stolen because people know that this is important. I am not making an assumption of who steals it, but people believe that it gets stolen by hospital staff. And then others use it for money and to gain fortunes. So your child doesn't have it anymore, but you definitely saw when the child was born that it had a veil. There are things that can be done. Usually the grandmother of the child would slaughter a chicken and take the gallbladder, inyongo, and wash the child with it while talking to the ancestors. Why is she doing this? She is requesting the ancestors to protect this child and protect this child's path so that everything goes well for the child. So the child grows protected and the child grows up to be a successful member of the society. Basically, opening up the child's fortunes so that things don't get in the way as the child grows. What else? Ngubanis cut the pinky finger. The belief there, I'm not a Ngubane, so please don't quote me. You can ask any person who's a Ngubane. They believe that something goes wrong if you did not cut the pinky finger. Usually the pinky finger is then put in a cow dung. What's another cultural thing that we do for children? There's many things. I've actually made a video on umhlonyane as well as umemulo, which are things that happen when the child is now growing and becoming a woman. So I'm merely talking about babies, toddlers. Other things you need to observe: if your child becomes accident prone around the home, the child shouldn't wear a cast at 3-4 years old. Something is wrong. Usually this happens when the ancestors are too attached to the child and they're trying to play with the child, but by playing with the child, they hurt the child. There's usually things that need to be done as well. Emsamo, to request the ancestors to be careful around the child. There's many other reasons why the child could be accident prone. It's not just this one. But there are things you need to learn and you need to do. As per your culture at home, ask the elders. They will tell you. Thank you. Lesedi, Thokozani, Tamaku, Makosi, Thobela. Ngiyabonga.